Thank you so much for stopping by my channel. I'll be posting regular videos discussing faith, fashion, trending topics, and just some words of encouragement. I'm your host, Kyle Murphy, and this is Fits in Faith. Welcome to a brand new episode. We're climbing into the double digits here, episode 12, I believe. It's been a ride. It's been a journey. I thank you so much for those of you who have tuned in, and it's been exciting. It's been a blessing, like I say, and I got a great episode planned for your viewing pleasures. And I just want to say thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Those of you who have subscribed, who have shared, and I pray if you're getting a blessing out of this, please hit that subscribe button. Feel free to check out my little description box I placed below the videos. You'll see links to my other social media. Hit that share button. I post on Twitter, Facebook. If you're my Facebook friend and you've been watching the videos, hit that share. Send it to some people that need encouragement. Just word of mouth just grows these channels, and it's an awesome family. I love, there's quite a few different Watchmen channels that I'm subscribed to that I watch on a daily basis, and it's just a great community. It's a great family, the family of God. There's no greater family. And we are to, what does the Bible say about the end times? Use these words to comfort one another. Be a blessing, right? Encourage. And that's what I set out to do when I started this channel. And I haven't looked back. It's been a blessing. And thank you so much for those of you who continue to support and tune in. I greatly appreciate it. Today, we'll kind of do like we normally do, like we always do. We'll talk about some fashion. This time of year, I don't know where you are, where you're tuning in from, but Minnesota here in the frozen tundra, it's starting to get a little cool. Fall. And my birthday, fall, October's very own. So I love the fall, and fall fashion is like my favorite. I love it. You know, you bust out those jackets, sweaters, coats, anything in between, layer it up. I love fall, mostly because of the fashion and the pumpkin spice. Shout out Starbies. But yeah, so we're gonna go into some fall fits. Throw those up. We'll break them down like we usually do, and then at the end, I got a little challenge for you guys. This one is kind of out of the box. It's kind of, you don't hear this one preached a lot. You don't hear this one taught a lot, but it's necessary and it's an encouragement. It's unique kind of a challenge, but I think you guys will get a blessing out of it because it's a huge blessing to me. So yeah, let's get right into it. Let's jump into some fits. So today's episode, we will focus on outerwear, given the time of year. First up, we got that Essentials Fear of God Coach jacket. It's like 3/4 length. Absolutely love that statement piece. Next up, we got the Timeless Classic Denim Jacket. Everyone's got to have one. If you don't have one, I definitely recommend copping you one. It's just a statement piece. Next up, we have the Leather Jacket Thriller. I believe it's made by Top Man Leather from Nordstrom. Absolutely love this piece. Just a classic look. Wanted to throw another denim look on there for you. Just a clean, classic, comfy fall fit there. If you don't have one, definitely copy one. Next up, we got the Adidas tracksuit. Woo! What's he got on the feet there? He's got the Gucci slides. Love that comfy little fit, fall fit there. And then last up, wanted to throw the big guns on there, the Canada Goose, freshest, warmest coat in the game, heading into winter. Man, I absolutely love fall. I love those fall fits. You can do so much. Be creative. Sweaters to the floor, flannels to the floor. You know, you bust out those beanies. Just a cozy little fit, cozy little coffee shop drip. Absolutely love it. Favorite time of year. Definitely. It's short-lived in Minnesota though. Like you blink and falls over and you're frozen. So then you bust out that Canada Goose like I had in one of those photos. I was like, I gotta be sure to put that on there. That's the heavy duty. I say that's like the Mount Everest drip right there. Shout out Canada Goose. Hardest. I mean, that's like the big guns right there when it's cold, when it's like 40 below here in Minnesota. But anyways, so those are the fall drips. And we'll get on to the Bible challenge. So like I said, it's kind of a unique challenge, but it really helps me. And I kind of like thinking about this challenge. It kind of takes me back to my illness, and like my illness, it taught me a lot of things. It taught me a ton of things. I grew so much as a person going through that, like in my everyday life, in my Christian life, like all around. It taught me hard lessons daily, hourly, like momentarily. But it there's so much you can take from that. But the main focus that I want to get into is when I was at that stage where I was not seeing results. And my physical therapist, my team that I had behind me, my family, um, they told me every day that you just gotta keep working. You're not gonna see those results right away, but if you stack up enough days faithfully where you're just working, like it'll pay off. You'll see it. And I was like, I'm not seeing anything. I'm busting my butt every day, blood, sweat, and tears, literally, and nothing to show for it. I still like can't even move my feet. I can barely hold a phone. I still can't feed myself, but I just kept working. And one thing that I learned is when you're in a spot like that, and it can be in any situation in your daily life, your back's up against the wall and you're praying for something desperately. You're crying out to God, but he's going to hear those prayers, but God wants to be seeing us do our part. Like, what do I mean by that? Like, in my illness, I was paralyzed from the neck down. I was praying every day. My dad, like I said earlier, is a traveling evangelist. He travels the country and he's in churches, um, 30 to 40 weeks out of the year, all over. And he's in the pulpit saying, pray for my son Kyle, pray for my son Kyle, putting out his newsletter. I had people all around the world praying for me. And I just wasn't seeing those results. And it can be frustrating. It can be really discouraging. It can be frustrating. You're praying for something so hard, nothing's happening. But we need to be doing our part while we're praying. Yes, there's so much power in prayer. I'm living proof of it. Prayers of a mother, prayers of a father. I was away from God. They prayed me back in. I'm convinced of it. But when you're praying for something, you also have to be doing your part. You just can't sit on your butt and pray. It's like someone who's really out of shape, sitting on the couch all day, every day, drinking Mountain Dews and eating donuts. And they're like, God, please make me skinny every day. God, please make me skinny. Well, 6 months goes by and they've gained weight. Well, I guess not. God is just not answering my prayer. I guess God's just not in the business of hearing our prayers and answering our prayers. Yes, He is. I'm living proof of it. But you got to get off the couch. You got to do your part while you pray. You can't just pray. He's more. It's like when, I was a kid, and I was like, hey, Dad, man, I need five. Can I borrow $5? I want to go up to the gas station and get an icy and play the claw machine. That was my jam when I was a kid. Well, if I had been mowing the lawn earlier that day, or helping with the yard work, or doing chores around the house, doing my part, of course my dad's going to say yes. Yeah, son, absolutely, I got you. Go treat yourself. But if I'm laying in my bed all day, not even moving, not even getting out of bed, just lazying around, I'm like, Dad, can I have $5? He's probably going to say no. God is the same way. He wants to see us doing our part. If he sees us faithful, if he sees us witnessing and trying and being faithful, and honoring him and telling others about Christ, and he's gonna answer those prayers more frequently, faster. I mean, right on the dot. Sometimes he answers prayers before you even pray them. Like, boom, something happens. I'm like, wow, sheesh. I wasn't even praying for that, but wow, that's a huge blessing. God knew I needed it before I even had the thought of I need it. He's always 10 steps ahead. And there's so many stories in the Bible about this. I mean, I was trying to think of really good ones, and I reached out to my dad. Of course, he's a good resource, and just to pick his brain about what are just some really good examples about this. But just a couple really stood out in my mind. And one of them, and they're both like Sunday school, what we learned, if you grew up in church, like what you learn in second grade Bible class, sitting on the floor. But one of them is in Luke 5. We all know the story. It's about the lame man. He wanted to go in and hear Jesus speak, and he needed to be healed. He had some physical. He was paralyzed. What did he do? He didn't sit out there on the street corner whining and groaning and like, God, why didn't you heal me? No. Him and a bunch of guys loaded that guy up. I mean, you read it in the Bible in Luke 5, and it leaves out a lot of detail. But I mean, you got to picture like how this actually went down. Like, they had to load this guy up, I mean, dead weight, and get him up on the rooftop somehow. And, this was before all those fancy contraptions we have now. I don't even know what they probably used. Probably just a board and some rope or something like that. They got him up there. They lowered him through the hole of this roof, and he was able to be healed. He saw Jesus. He did his part. That effort that went into that. I mean, he wanted to see Jesus. Nothing was going to stop this guy. Not his physical situation. He probably had every excuse in the world to lay there and feel sorry for himself. But no, he's like, I'm about to see Jesus. Nothing's going to stop me. And those guys that helped him out, it's just a great story. It's a powerful story about a guy who did his part. Another one that kind of comes to mind is Joshua and the Battle of Jericho, right? I mean, they prayed and prayed, and they were trying to get through the walls of that city, and God's people, they had to march around the entire city once a day. And then on the seventh day, they had to march 7 times around the city. Who knows how big that was out there in the desert. They had to grind. They had to do their part. And guess what? It paid off, right? We all know that Bible, the Sunday school story about how the walls fell down and they were led to the promised land. And it's just a couple of, and there's so many of it in the Bible. There's so many examples about that. How God is, he says, yes, I'm going to help you. I'm going to bless you. I am going to perform some kind of miracle in your life, but going to have to roam the desert for a little bit. I want to see you faithful. I want to see how serious you are about this. And sometimes, people give up, they get discouraged, and they're, I don't even want this anymore. But trust me, you stick with it, you stay faithful, Sometimes you're not going to see the results you want right away. If you know me in my personal life, that's super impatient. And that's something that God really had to teach me in my illness. I had to wait to walk for about a year. And like I said, it's not, sometimes those results aren't going to be overnight. You're just going to have to grind and grind and grind some more. And then probably won't see those results. You're going to have to grind some more. DJ Khaled, another one. Another one. So don't get discouraged. Hang in there. You stay faithful. You stay in your Bible. Keep praying. Keep on it. Trust me, those results are right around the corner. If you spend any time in the gym, it's the same thing in the gym life. Same thing in making gains. You're not going to, you see those guys that are just all muscled up. That did not come overnight. Trust me. They had to work for days, weeks, months, sometimes years to get those results that you're seeing. Behind closed doors, when no one was watching, putting in that work. So I wanted to share that with you. That's just one thing that's just, not a popular devotional that you don't hear a lot, but I just wanted to share that. I hope that it be an encouragement to someone out there. But like I said, stay faithful. I'm going to keep, as long as God tarries is coming, I'm going to keep pumping out these videos. And as long as He gives me breath and keeps laying these messages on my heart, I'm more than happy to share them with you guys. I just want channel to grow so that more people can be encouraged and hear the gospel. Time is short. I mean, look around. Follow the Watchman on YouTube. A couple that I like is Watchman on the Wall 88. He's a great watchman. Love that guy. Watchman Adam. He's this guy from down south. He's great when he always puts up current events and talks about them and compares them to the Bible. Watchman River, that guy, he's like a dad. Really cool sense of humor. He's a great guy, So I just love those Watchman videos. Iron sharpening iron. The Bible talks about if the Lord gives you a burden for being a watchman, and you better do it. You better not ignore that. So God has burdened me for that. Pray for Israel. That country is going through some things. And I don't know if you're watching the current events, but they need our prayer. Those are God's chosen people. Whether they follow Christ or accept Him as the true Messiah, we still got to pray for them. They're going through some hardships right now. So there's a lot of the that part of the world over there. It's getting pretty restless. So we just got to pray and pray for our leadership. Just pray. Tell others about Christ, because those days are slipping away very quick. Jesus is at the door and He's about to bust through, and we want to be ready. Thank you so much for tuning in. Catch you on the next episode. Peace.